Kieran, you're never going to believe it.
What?
There's a podcast.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's right. It just zipped by. Did you see it?
Well, no, I didn't see it. Tell me.
Okay, there's another one.
Oh.
Here it comes.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
Opinions?
Mm-hmm.
Spoilers?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Bad language? Swearing? Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah? You strapped in? You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. Ready?
Now.
And go. Hello and welcome to 250 Reasons to Stay Indoors. I'm Jordan.
I'm Keiran.
And this is the podcast where we're going to be watching the IMDb top 250 movies and saying some stuff about them. Today we watched The Thing, the 1982 version. So, yeah, Kieran, have you got a 15-second summary for us?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Bunch of guys in the Antarctica, and they come across this really, really weird creature from outer space who can take on other people's life forms, and they end up taking up all of the people, and everyone dies at the end.
Okay, 13 seconds and 75 milliseconds.
Don't really think I quite did it justice.
I don't think you actually got it right either.
Well, okay, not everyone. Well, everyone does die at the end eventually, because those two guys at the end will freeze to death.
They're going to die, but they didn't die.
Yeah.
So yeah, the film started off. At the start, I'd already watched it before, but a long time ago. I knew I was going to go and see the new one with my dad.
Right.
So I made sure I watched this version first before going to see that. The 2011 version, the newer one, was actually a prequel.
What?
Yeah. So it's like I'm to be honest, I'm struggling to remember it myself, but it's like from the Norwegians' perspective.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And when I first started watching this again, and they've got like the husky coming in and being shot at,
yeah,
and I was just like, well, no, I'm not down with this at all. This is awful. I can't get behind this guy. He's shooting a husky.
Yeah, but now that you've seen the film,
yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, but but you've seen the prequel.
Yeah, but I totally forgot.
Obviously you're down.
I totally forgot everything.
Oh.
I forgot that the dog was. I thought it was just a dog.
I thought it was just a dog as well, and I thought the reason that the guy was trying to shoot him, again, another one of those people that are shooting guns, don't know how to shoot guns at all. The husky is running in one direction. Like he's having a sick time, by the way. Like he's having a jolly run through the snow, and the guy just doesn't know how to shoot anything. But I thought it was some kind of spy thing, and either the US people didn't want anyone coming into their camp, including huskies, or this husky had information about the guys in the helicopter.
It's got a chip in it.
Yeah, it's got a chip.
It's got
a little message on its leg or something.
Yeah,
and
or it can speak.
Yeah.
This is a Disney movie now.
There you go. I'm just gonna burst into song. Do you wanna know some intel? There you go.
Yes.
Okay, cool. We're one of my first notes. Huskies are cute. Now, one of the first things we see is what's his name? McReady. What kind of a name is McReady?
Is it not McReady?
Oh, okay. McReady. Every single time I looked at his
MacReady.
It's actually an instruction to his computer. Okay.
Yeah.
And
actually, that's a piece of trivia. There was a person in it called Mac and a person called Windows. And it's something to do with it being in 1982, but it's totally coincidental. But
really,
yeah, apparently.
Is there not? What?
No, apparently it's totally coincidental.
Why was the guy called Windows?
Because his last name was Windows.
Whose last name is Windows?
Whose last name is Staples?
No one's.
My friend's got a last name of Staples.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Is that why?
I don't want to say his first name now.
Is that why the shop is called Staples? Because it's actually after a person's name, not the fact that it's a stationer's.
Who are we to know? I'm now trying to think of any type of shop that is named after the person and not the thing.
But the thing is also the shop. Because that's what Staples is. I mean, it's not just a Staples shop where you just have...
John Staples was just very, very into stationery.
That would be a coincidence.
Perfect,
surely you would look at your surname and be like, I'm gonna do something with my name.
So obviously, if McCready does survive, he's going to open up a IT support
or
company.
A library.
Yeah. Well, it depends how you read it, isn't it?
A woodwind shop.
McReady. Or Macready. Or McCready.
Surely a Mac repair shop would be the best. MacReady. Okay. But anyway, he's playing chess with a computer at the start, which I thought was fine.
Yeah.
Except from when he lost his game, like a little loser, he pours his whiskey inside the game.
No, come on, that's like the manliest rage quit I've ever seen.
No, rage quits are dumb. Like, he broke his game and wasted whiskey. So stupid. Why would you do that?
Because he's got loads of whiskey spare.
Has he got loads of whiskey spare?
He must do. I mean, you don't throw away whiskey like that over a chess game. Well, not like that, as in it's like really nice whiskey or anything, but like when you're in a situation where you're in the Antarctica and you probably have limited supplies, you wouldn't just waste it.
I guess
unless you knew there was more.
But also now I'm thinking back to it. He opened up that little door in the game and then poured his whiskey in. Like he's done it several times before. Maybe he knows.
Yeah, he kind of knew where to put it, didn't he?
Yeah. He's like, well, maybe that's the only way to turn it off.
Yeah.
Maybe
some IT support guy he would be. Instead of have you tried turning it off,
try pouring whiskey
and buying a new one.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Now that Norwegian dude gets out of the helicopter.
Sorry, come to think of it, again, the fact that they're in like Antarctica, and it's a time when like their game systems were literally like a whole computer dedicated to one game. As if you break it that quick, they're like 1 week into winter as well at that point. It's like as if he's literally just going to be like, nah, done.
Exactly.
Sorry, go on. I just wanted to get that off my chest.
No, that's exactly what my point was. Is that you wouldn't be so flippant about games, especially since that game is in his little space.
Yeah.
His little cabin.
Yeah.
That's his only game.
That's his personal.
That's
computer.
his one personal game.
Personal gaming system.
You know. Jeez. Right, so Norwegian guy comes out of the helicopter. He tries to kill the dog. He's like completely deranged. He's mental. And all of the Americans are like, what's this guy doing?
They're all just standing around watching him, and he's already fired shots. Yeah, he's already fired shots, and they're still just like, what? It's not until like, oh wait, no, the first shot he fires actually does go into the guy's leg, doesn't it?
Because he's trying to shoot the dog, which is on the guy.
Yeah.
So anyway, that at that point they're trying to, because they've not got any guns, so they all run away. But your guy who's the captain breaks the glass and shoots the guy in the head. Now, I feel like there's enough time between the guy shooting the glass and the guy actually shooting the guy in the head. He could have just gone outside. Didn't need to break the glass.
Did he break the glass? I don't know.
Yeah. Broke a window to get I guess a clear shot.
How much of a good shot is that guy though?
Yeah, straight in the forehead.
Considering that this guy couldn't shoot a dog with like a sniper rifle. This guy just popped this guy in the eye with a little hand cannon.
There you go, little hand cannon. Absolutely messed him up. So that was cool. But I just felt like, when you in Antarctica, you want to not break things if you can help it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean,
so I would have thought go outside, especially since there's so many other people around.
Give him benefit of the doubt though. There's a dude shooting people, shooting at things. There's panic. You're in charge.
Yeah. All right. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. All right. Then they burn someone.
No, mate, before they even get to that bit.
No, sorry, it's not burning someone. There's the helicopter that's on fire.
Yeah, he throws a grenade. Who does that?
He threw a grenade behind him. Because he's freaking out so much. I think it was an accident that he threw it behind him. Because then he says something in Norwegian which is to the effect of shit. and so then he runs towards the people and panics and then starts shooting the dog because he realizes why he's there.
That's like the trick you do when you're trying to like juke your dog and you're going to throw the tennis ball and you throw it behind yourself and then bring it. Like I've done that so many times just to like mess with people.
It's jokes.
It's like, but you can't. I've never ever seen anyone throw something behind themselves by accident. I've never seen that actually happen. Yeah.
And also, it's the worst joke to do when the thing that you're fake throwing is a grenade that you've taken the pin out of.
Exactly.
Really bad idea.
Maybe he just really hated the guy that was flying the helicopter. Maybe he's literally just like,
fuck this guy.
Yeah, he's been spending
really
like weeks on end in the snow. What was it, 8 weeks in the snowy Antarctic with him, and he's like, I'm done with you, mate.
Yeah. Absolute idiot. So anyway, he gets shot. All of this. The helicopter explodes, and then they put it out with fire extinguishers. I was thinking, if you're in Antarctica and the helicopter's out of the way, do you really need to put the fire out with fire extinguishers? Would you not save the fire extinguishers? Because if it was close to your quarters, I'd be like, all right, okay, it's really close to your little cabin. You want to make sure that the cabin doesn't set on fire. But it was like a good 50 meters away. I was thinking probably leave it. But then I realised that if it melts the snow, and the snow turns to ice, that's dangerous.
That's a hazard.
That's not
good, Kieran. You saw an issue, you mentioned it, you corrected yourself, and found the true issue at heart.
Exactly.
That ice is slippery when ice.
Exactly.
And that health and safety is a number one concern in 1982.
Exactly. I took it to the board, we discussed it, and we dismissed it. There you go. Okay, next thing I wrote, black guy on roller skates.
Yeah, I literally
absolutely awesome.
Just like the cook, like I was like seeing him like go across from like one end of the kitchen to the other on roller skates. I'm just like, damn, this guy's got it figured out. He's like, you just want to see someone on like Hell's Kitchen do that.
Oh my god, like, that would have been sterling.
Yeah,
that would have been sterling. Absolutely.
Yeah, keeping it 100. Just like, okay, Sterling, if you'd like to show me your signature dish, not a problem. Just swishes down into the kitchen, just picking things up, literally just sliding across. You just be like, you are my head chef.
Yeah, exactly. Straight out of the bat. Yeah. Everyone fuck off out of my kitchen. Well, there would have been people trying to get as good as him. Yeah. And they would have been trying to go around the kitchen and
like throwing little sticks on the floor and stuff to try and trip him up.
Exactly. Oh, it wouldn't have worked out. Yeah. But there was I think his first line in the whole film was you see him skating. People are talking. He skates, just pops in the room and says, maybe we're at war with Norway. And then just skates away, and that's all he says. Yeah. I think that's just pretty cool.
It's something like, because I couldn't quite remember everything from the film because it was such a long time ago. I didn't know who was it at what parts, who was a thing.
Right.
And there's something about his face. It looked kind of plasticky. I kind of expected it to just rip in half at any point when it was like, especially when they got to the blood bit, and it just kept on looking at him. I definitely felt like his face was going to split in half.
Yeah. I made a few predictions in this film.
Oh, yeah.
Because the cool thing about horror films, which there aren't many of, but the cool thing is that you can predict who dies, because there's always going to be someone that dies.
There aren't many of.
There aren't many good things about horror films. Cause
I
haven't said yet.
There isn't many horror films.
I know, there's quite a few of those. I should have prefaced this whole episode by saying I absolutely hate horror and anything in that description. Can't deal with it. Get out of it. I would watch anything else over this.
We sometimes we'll watch the movies sort of at home individually, and sometimes we'll watch them together. But I expressly, is that the word? I wanted to see this one with Kieran just because I know his track record with horror movies is just hilarious to watch. You freaked out so much.
No. No, it was just not okay. It's just not okay. All right. Anyway, so. McReady flies a helicopter. I thought it was going to crash a helicopter. It doesn't crash a helicopter. That's fine. I thought the black guy would be the first to go. Well, one of the two black guys would be the first to go because it's kind of a thing that if you got a black guy in a movie,
it's kind of not anymore, but
it's
because it was. Yeah, like exactly. Yeah. In an old film, you'd expect.
Is this where it came from? Yeah. All right. Everyone in the camp gets fucked up by the dog. I thought everyone was just going to be done by the dog, and I thought the dog was just going to be a dog, which is the thing. I mean, obviously the dog is the thing. Oh,
that would be such a cheap, But
I thought it was just going to be the dog.
It was just a dog all along, and then they woke up.
No. I thought it would be like the dog transforms into the thing.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah.
Like messes everyone up, and then goes back into the dog, and then they're just like, oh, it's just the dog, right? And so they're just trying to kill this dog. That is the thing. Turns out that the thing is actually something that can morph into other people and all that stuff. So anyway, at one point there's high violins. I've got no time for high-pitched violins, especially in this context. Absolutely no time for it. Way too much tension. I thought,
that's kind of the point of a horror, Kieran. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it shouldn't be there.
Okay, I have to admit, the placement of the high-pitched violins in the score was so that it was placed in in places where I thought, oh, actually, it's not so bad. And they took them out when it was just silent and it was super tense. If they'd have put the high-pitched violins when there was a big tension, I'd have been like, okay, it's really obvious that something's going to happen now. Whereas there was limited jump scares in this film.
I really liked that.
I especially like that because
I'm
a massive fanny and I can't really deal with it. The jump scare that did happen was with the blood at the end.
Yeah, and that got you. That got me. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. I knew that one of them does pop out.
Right.
But it just gets you at precisely the moment when you're not expecting it.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I can't now thinking back. I can't quite remember what the situation was in terms of maybe swapping cameras and just the way that scene played out. It just happened at a point when, even though I knew it was going to happen, I wasn't expecting it, and it just got me. And it was pretty much the only jump scare in this film.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, like nowadays you get films like Insidious and The Conjuring, and like because I'm quite a fan of horror films. Like I really enjoy watching them because I like the adrenaline of being scared and that sort of thing. But jump scares are they can feel really cheap when they're done all the time. And recently, most of the horror films that come out seem to just rely on that. And I think that's the beauty of films from this era. Like older films, because they didn't necessarily have the budget to show you the scary monster all the time. They couldn't rely on CGI and things like that. There's a lot more tension built in, and you just feel scared for longer throughout the film.
Yeah, and that's one thing I really respected about this film was that it took you a while to actually see the monster. And when they showed you the monster, I was pretty convinced, apart from the last time.
The last time?
The very last time that the monster...
Well, and it's a really big one.
Yeah, it's a big, massive one. I was like, okay, it kind of gave it away at one point where there was a bit of... I don't know if it was CGI or if it was just something going on with the props and stuff. I mean, if for the earlier ones, like you could really tell that it's still a fake thing, but god damn it, looked pretty realistic.
Yeah, well, actually, the organs in the first when they do the first dissection, they're actually real animal organs.
I can totally believe that. Yeah,
I think I can't off the top of my head. I'm not sure if it won awards, but it was like a benchmark for like makeup design and things like that.
Yeah, we were eating food. I made lunch at the same time, and it was
a mistake.
It would have been really nice, except I made this thing. It was like a tomato and goat's cheese crumble thing. Yeah, and
yeah, you get me. All right, yeah, that's right. It was a tomato and goat's cheese crumble. Yeah, come at me, internet.
Come on then, Delia. What are you saying?
Calling you out, Ramsey.
Yeah, and then the whole entrails.
Yeah, that was
came on right when I was tucking into my cherry tomatoes.
Yeah, that was hard.
Was rough. Like you did the right thing and ate it really quickly.
Yeah, I munched it down, waited for that scene to be over, and then went back for more.
And I just struggled through the whole thing. That was just gross.
Yeah, that was tough.
All right, there's a scene when they put the dog in the kennel, right? There's a scene there where they're all kind of chilling and hanging out and whatever. And they light up a doobie in the bunk.
Do they?
Yeah.
Because I heard you mention that there was a stove or something, but I didn't see that.
Like, yeah, so there's the guy who's like a nervous wreck. The white guy who's a nervous wreck. He's making well, I mean, I've seen joints that look more like joints than that one, but it was evidently shaped like a joint. And then, like, as soon as he lights it up, doesn't even take a puff. The other guy on the other bed has his hand out and takes it from him. It's not even been puff past, but it's really obvious that it's like, we are showing people smoking marijuana. And I thought, who the fuck deals in Antarctica? You do not have a deal.
You gotta get some of that Eskimo weed, man.
Yeah, man. Like it's like yeah. I mean, I've never picked up, but like we want to pick up. Yeah, all right, I'll be around the corner in 3 hours.
Yeah, mate. Will you come to Antarctica?
Yeah. You have to give like your longitude and latitude at that point.
It's all about the Eskimo weed, man. They grow out underground. They've got underground bunkers.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Do they not need heat to grow?
Yeah, no. They just they have like those big hamster wheels, and they just got their dogs and their Eskimos. They just take it in turns to run. That powers That just warms up the.
Maybe they just.
Because that's how plants grow, with warmth, Kieran, not light. It's nothing to do with photosynthesis. It's just warm.
They could just use the flamethrowers that they had just to grow fucking.
That's right. Why do you think they've got flamethrowers?
There you go.
Just in case they need to grow some parsley or something.
Yeah. Oh, if only we had some sage for this soup. Okay. All right. Prediction: dog was going to fuck up all the other dogs. Yes, absolutely did. Oh no, not all of them, because some of them ran away. Then I just wrote nope when I saw the big monster.
Just nope.
Nope. What? Nope. That's exactly what I wrote.
It's a lot gorier than I remembered it being. Like, I knew obviously it's shapeshifting and it's a bit gross, but it was really graphic. Really slimy. And...
No. Okay, there was this moment where they set this thing alight, yeah, and then they put it out with a fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
There is a shot where they're putting the fire extinguisher away from, you know, all the smoke and everything, and the tube where the stuff comes out of the fire extinguisher looks like a massive cowbell, like a really, really big cowbell.
Geez.
I just wanted to go up to it like gong, and it would be a really, really resonant thing. So I'm wondering maybe they have a percussion group in there because, you know, they can make a.
Do you? Is that what you wonder? You wonder if there's percussion involved?
I don't know. But I just thought that might make a pretty cool cowbell.
Yeah, I'm sure it would.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway,
I'm Kieran and I like drums.
Yeah. So the next prediction: the thing's going to imitate a human, obviously.
Obviously, yeah.
I thought green cap dude is a fake human. That's the Clark, I think.
Green cap dude.
Yeah, he was the one who ended up getting shooted in the head.
Oh, shooted in the head, yeah.
Shooted in the head.
Yeah. The beard man, the husky man, the dog man.
Beard husky man. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I thought he was a fake human.
Yeah, I mean they definitely played it out.
They set it up, so I thought he might be. But
interestingly, you know when the quite early on when the dog who we know is obviously the alien. Well, we don't really know at this point, but it's pretty much.
You're pretty sus at that point.
And it's walking in and it goes into that room with there's a dude that stops and there's like.
That must have been when. Was it him?
Well, this is the thing. The director, his name I've forgotten now. Well, yeah, I'll come back to that. But the director actually decided that he wanted it to be sort of, you know, mysterious. None of the actors that were actually cast in the film make that shadow. Like, that's just a totally different person. Just to make it so that you can't guess who it is from that. And just to confirm, the director's John Carpenter.
Right. I thought it was pretty cool that when they go looking at they're not looking at the Norwegian site, but they're looking for, because they look at the tapes the Norwegians had, and then they look for whatever it was that they had, massive spaceship, and they're abseiling down the side of that little quarry that they did. I just thought it was pretty cool that abseiling is a normal part of your day that you just do. Yeah,
I mean, I've always been envious of people that can do abseiling in their job. Like, did you ever do abseiling at all? Like, did you ever go to, like, you know, when you in primary school or secondary school and stuff, and you go to those like weekend trips away to a place where you do activities and stuff like that? No, have you ever abseiled?
I mean, I've done, like, you know, if you have, I mean, well, you know what rock climbing is, obviously.
I do, yeah.
I've never been to like a rock climbing centre, but I've been to if there's, in my hometown, there's this place where there's a load of stuff in the centre of town, and there's like loads of shops and stuff. There's a cinema and bowling alley and all that stuff, and there's a rock climbing wall, just there, and I did that a few times.
Okay, yeah.
So I mean, I've fallen from that, and that is the closest I've come to abseiling. But
I don't know. I mean, abseiling's. I've done it in like centres and stuff like that, and like as I mentioned earlier, the where you go away for like activity weekends and stuff like that. It always just feels so. I don't know. I was never really that interested in it because you don't need to be doing it. It's just like something to do for fun. If you're doing it in your job, I think like there's an element of risk involved because you're not necessarily. It's not like a regulated board that you can abseil down with. You know, like it's all like actual. You're really there and doing it. Like, I think that would be much more exciting. Like I used to do rock climbing in secondary school, part of my GCSE.
What? Really?
Yeah. We went to a place in London, like a centre.
That's so cool.
We did it for like maybe 10 weeks or something like that.
Right.
And that was such a cool place. It had really high ceilings, and the whole floor was just crash mats. You didn't have any harnesses or anything, so you just climb really high, and if you fall, you just fall on the crash mat.
That's exhilarating, man. That's
and there's
incredible.
like upside down bits and stuff. And I remember we were taught by this crazy Russian woman who was like super skinny, but just like she was literally climbing upside down, and just like all of her muscles were in her fingers. Like she had fingers like the size of Cumberland sausages. It was just like just almost like shaping the rocks as she climbed.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that was crazy. I really enjoyed that sort of side of it, because that was that element of fear again, like with where you don't have a harness and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that made it a little bit more exciting. But no, I think abseiling in I don't mean to dick on your experience, but abseiling in like sort of a shopping centre sort of thing is just not going to give
it's not the same. One thing I do think is absolutely badass, as like, okay, if I didn't have the job I have now, there's a few different options I have in my head as like, oh, I could do this. But being a tree surgeon, I think, such a
being
sick
a tree
job.
surgeon would be so cool. Do you remember that guy? What was his name? Mark.
I'm looking. I just gave John the look of like, Mark could be fucking anyone. I don't know who the hell you're on about.
No, Mark. He was in our first year of uni. I think it's Mark.
George.
No, not George. No. Basically, there was a guy at uni. We were studying drums, music, and he left in the first year to go and be a tree surgeon.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, okay. So being tree surgeon. Also cool.
That's cool. All right, there's a thing. You know when?
Yeah, that's what the film's about.
Hey, you know when Blair is in? They trap him in that shed.
Yeah.
Did you notice the babe calendar in the background?
No.
Pretty cool.
Were there any boobs?
No.
We can't add it to our
genitalia tab. No.
Genitalia tab.
No.
Yeah, no. One of the issues I had with that, not with that, but one of the issues I had around Blair. There was like quite a few fade outs just on his face. It's kind of weird. I mean, I didn't really like the fade out sort of thing. I think that just shows how dated a movie is these days. But anyway, when he was on that computer, like the supercomputer that's somehow able to predict like how long it would take for the total assimilation of the entire planet.
Absolute bollocks.
How does this computer know? Like, how does it have all this information? Like the amount of variables that would be required to make that prediction.
I thought he was typing in.
Right. Well,
in the same way, how is he supposed to make that
yeah, prediction? You've got to know you've at least got to know what the whole population is, and you need to know how fast it's spread.
I wrote just as a general note, fuck this film, fuck horror films, because I just don't like them. The next thing, your boy McReady is doing a recording into his cassette player. Then he rewinds it.
Yeah.
So
he like taped over a bit, didn't he? I think that's what he was doing. I didn't really know about it, but it seemed like he was saying something. Wish I could remember what he said now.
He's like, you can't trust anyone.
Yeah, that was it. He said you can't trust anyone, and then he seemed to rewind and go back over that.
I thought he rewinded it and then pressed play, and he was like, maybe it was the bit after he said you can't trust anyone.
Right. Why would he just pause it, rewind, play at the bit where he paused it, and start recording again?
I don't know. Well, because he wanted to hear it again. I don't know,
Did he play it back though?
Yeah, he did play it back. Check this out. I think it's absolute bullshit that you would be able to talk, stop it, rewind it, and exactly where you press play is the exact thing that you want to listen to. That just would not happen. You would not be that good with recording things. You just not.
I'm thinking about an age where people used to like record stuff off of the radio and get the pauses directly right.
Come on.
I don't know. It's a different time.
It was perfect. Like, absolutely perfect.
Well, what was his job there? He might have been an audio technician. You don't know. This is also the thing. Yeah. What were they doing there? Can you tell me what they were doing there, Keiran? Do you know?
Just being researchers?
I guess. Maybe.
Being scientists?
There was lots of computers there. There was a lot of guys. I mean, first of all, the only female in that film was the voice of his chess machine.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
But yeah, what were they doing there? They've got a science guy. They've got a place where they can do autopsies, and they've got people that are able to do that. And they've got a cook, and they've got guns, and they've got flamethrowers. They've basically got all the stuff that they would need to fight an alien.
Sent to Antarctica to fight an alien.
Yeah, I mean, actually, the people now, apparently, this is a staple. They're in expeditions to Antarctica, or researchers in Antarctica. I think it's the 21st of June when they have a winter celebration thing. They always watch this film. There's a little
tradition, ritual.
Yeah, as a tradition. Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
I think it's cool. Maybe it's just like a bit of loads of countries. A bit of Antarctica is owned by loads of different countries, and so the US wants to have a bunch of people in their part of Antarctica. I have a question.
Yeah.
Why were they using flares, and why not just use torches?
I thought this as well. Like, you've got flashlights. There's no way they don't have flashlights. Why are they not using flashlights?
Exactly. The one thing I could think is it uses loads of batteries, but then you're using loads of flares.
You're in like a bloody research centre. You're going to stock up on all the things that you could possibly need.
Exactly.
And just get batteries.
It's absurd. So I don't know
when
why...
he's walking around with a little candle, and it's like, what, dude, mate? As if you don't have a flashlight.
Yeah.
In Antarctica, like that's just like survival 101. You'd have a flashlight.
Everyone's always using flares. Surely flares would only be used for like emergencies.
Yeah, you've only got like a flare is a once-use thing.
Yeah. How long does it last? To be fair, they were lasting quite a long time, but still.
Yeah, they were movie regulation flares. They lasted.
Yeah,
they need to last.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Also, that whole scene when they're back into the autopsy room.
Yeah.
And they're trying to revive the guy who's like really ill. Yeah. And one of the doctors is doing CPR on the guy whilst, I don't know what they're all doing, they're talking about how they're going to sort out who's human and who's not. And I was sure that the guy was a thing. And so he's doing CPR, and just before his hands get chopped off and all of that, which is really gross.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, that was just... Just before that point, he's trying to do CPR. And it was absolutely rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. He was just kind of like putting his... I mean, he wasn't fully... I wasn't convinced. You need to break someone's ribs if you're going to do CPR on him. And sure, maybe that was the real actor that was lying on the table. Maybe it was the real actor. I'm fairly convinced it was, actually. And so you don't want to crack his ribs. But if you're going to do CPR, then you should get a fake thing in.
And you obviously have to have thing playing in the background, so you're doing it at the right time.
Staying alive.
Jinx, touch wood. You can't talk for the rest of the podcast now. So anyway, listeners, welcome to 250 Reasons. I'm Jordan. There's no one else here. It's just me now.
All right, now that scene where then the head comes off, and then the head becomes a spider.
This was also the moment where Keiran was reduced to a little girl. You went pale. I'm telling you, you went pale.
Really?
You did. You went pale.
Oh,
you literally... Keiran sometimes will watch films on his little beanbag in the corner of the room. Next to the fireplace, all nice and snug, and he literally was like a little, like shriveled, like just terrified being in the corner, all pale. Like you were just screaming at the top of your lungs.
It goes in levels. So what happens first is I put my hands towards my forehead and like in a kind of don't want to look at the TV, but kind of looking at the TV. Then I'll do the same thing, but take off my glasses, kind of in repulsion. Then I'll pick up my pen and throw it back down at the table in like, fuck this film, and then I'll just fully carry away from the telly. Yeah.
It actually kind of distracted me from what was going on because I was just looking at you. So when you were holding your eyes, I was staring at you because I was like, come on.
No, it was scary, man.
That was hilarious. I mean, I did have some beef with that bit because like, it was actually I'd forgotten that happened. That was kind of cool. I liked that it's like his head just like popped off, and then like the whipping noise as well.
Yeah, the whipping noise is really
his
funny.
Head is now all of a sudden Indiana Jones. Just like whips onto really this thing, and then grows some legs, walks off. It's like, you have just like rused all these guys in the flames. They've missed it. You've managed to duck away. You're in the corridor, and you just stop and just look at them.
Yeah.
Like, oh, come on. What are you doing? Why are you staring at them? Run away.
I'm bloody glad, because at least he got done. Because I would have hated if it was
if it was still alive and it was just somewhere.
Exactly. That would have been the worst. Okay.
I can't wait for Alien to be a film that we watch. That's got to be on the 250 list. With the face huggers and all the little crawly things getting in your face and putting stuff in you.
Oh, I've got no idea what you're talking about, but I do not want to watch that film. Okay. Right. Blair makes a spaceship underneath his little cabin.
Yeah.
How the hell are you getting that spaceship out of there? Why would you not just fly the helicopter away in the first place?
I think one of the things that points out as well, it reiterates the fact that this creature is like really intelligent, because it's obviously it's been able to take apart a helicopter and build a spaceship.
They did it. Oh,
Yeah, it was from the helicopter parts. That's what it made it out of.
Idiot,
They said it in the film. Yeah, they made it. It's like he must have used the helicopter bits or something like that.
Right.
But like, first of all, I'm assuming that helicopter parts aren't already the shape that you need. Most likely.
Well,
so,
he bent it into shape.
Yeah,
Obviously.
but even still, it's pretty flush.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
That was
And
nice.
it's made like an a spaceship. What we can only assume is possible of flying into space.
Yeah.
It's obviously really intelligent, and yet it's like when it's not acting as a person, it just looks so stupid. It's just like screaming. It's like inaudible and again, like when it's just a head walking away, it's stupid enough to just stand there and look at them. Yeah. I mean, what do you think the motivations of it were? Because there's a couple of theories going around. Yeah. Like,
what are the motivations of the thing?
Yeah. What is it trying to do?
I reckon it's trying to take over the human race. It's trying to take over the Earth.
That's the most popular one.
Pretty standard.
Yeah. There's another theory that it's actually not hostile at all, and it's actually just trying to survive. That's why
You're trying to tell me it's a domestic animal.
No, not
a domestic alien.
It's just trying to survive. They're attacking it, and it's just trying to find a way back home. The only issue I have with that theory is it attacks the dogs without necessarily being provoked.
Well, the other dogs are sus.
Unless, it's trying to turn into a human or something.
But to be fair, that alien dog was lying there like really. Well, it wasn't just like, oh, you're right, guys, I'm just gonna go have a kip.
Yeah,
it was staring at all of the other dogs.
It's the kind of thing you would do if you were about to split in half.
Exactly, which is exactly what the dog ended up doing.
And there's another theory that it's like an alien science researcher that's just been sent out to get like genetic information from as many races as possible. And it's not necessarily hostile, it's just gathering information, like a scientific researcher.
And then that's why he's building the spaceship.
Yeah, I prefer that theory, because I don't necessarily think it's like something as intelligent as that, and with the ability to do what it could do, why does it need to take over the world? Like, it's like, what purpose would it serve?
Yeah.
There's also the fact that apparently there was a question in terms of what's its original form, and it boils down to that it's based on what we've seen in the film. It could quite possibly just be a single cell that's working with multiples, and it's not actually, because like when it splits off and stuff like that, it's not like necessarily moving its sentience, like the blood and stuff like that. When it goes up, so it's like, I think he says it in the film as well. It's like it's separate. So its original form is actually possibly just a singular cell, which would make it pretty fucking terrifying.
How'd you catch that? That's crazy. Nice.
Rubber up.
Okay, last few things.
Yeah.
Macready is like, there's only one thing we can do: blow everything up. Like we said when we were watching it, the thing would just be like, oh right, they're blowing everything up.
Yeah.
I'll just stay outside in the cold and freeze, because that's what they said
That's
that he
a pretty
wanted to do
shit
anyway.
plan, isn't it, really?
Pretty rubbish.
I mean, to be fair, if you put yourself in their shoes, at this point, what is there else you can do? Like,
You may as well have a laugh and blow everything up.
yeah, you're gonna, like, it's just gonna be, he's cut out the power, so you're not gonna be able to survive, because it's gonna get freezing, there's no generator, it's like, it's fucked, you're gonna die.
Right.
So it was a suicide mission, basically. But, yeah, like, what can you do to catch this thing other than just fucking blow everything up?
I would have thought they'd try to like attract its attention. Don't know. Do something else.
It's too sneaky for that though. It's not going to
set off even more flares. And
yeah, maybe.
You see how Macready at the end blows everything up and he runs away. He's like, "Fuck you too," right? Throws the thing at the guy, and then throws the explosion at the thing. Yeah. At that point, the whole thing explodes. We see its amazing explosion, and there is no way that he would have got out of that explosion, because he had to go down a whole set of stairs and all of that to get away from it. And before the massive explosion that we see, there is just not enough time for him to get outside before that happens.
Yeah, because he's basically right next to it, isn't he?
Yeah.
So
he would have been dead as hell.
Yeah.
And then it would have only been thingy.
And he didn't even really look that messed up at the end. He was just cold.
Yeah. Exactly.
But on the note of that explosion, though, I mean, we said it when we watched it. That explosion looked so legit. It was so cool. I'm saying because in nowadays fire and stuff is just like CGI'd, or it just looks so detached. You know that explosion was 100% legit.
Oh yeah, man.
So it just looked really cool.
Especially because they filmed all of it, absolutely all of it.
The view of it was just like, you could see the whole mushroom cloud of it, everything. It was awesome.
I feel like when something is totally real because the director's like, spent so much money on this, and we can only do this once.
Yeah.
Let's film all of it.
Yeah.
I swear there's one James Bond film where an explosion is absolutely massive. Or you know when they do I can't remember what one it is, where there's all those car rolls.
Oh yeah. Casino Royale.
Yeah, and there's like it's the most car rolls in the film or something.
Yeah, and they got it from so many angles, haven't they?
Yeah, exactly. And they film every single one of the rolls, and it takes ages to finally stop. It's because it was real, and they were like, oh yeah, this is pretty sick.
Okay, so I mean, do you have a person you'd be to change the outcome? You didn't think of that, did you? No. Yeah, no. I don't. For me, I think it would just be a case of why the fuck did you bring the thing from the Norwegian camp over in the first place?
He didn't bring it over.
No, they did bring it, didn't they? Because then they dissected it.
Oh.
Like, why did they bring that? Like, when you see something like that, you see burnt down everything, Norwegian man going crazy shooting stuff. There's
because they've been sent to find aliens. That's my Jordan. Like, because they're bored as hell. They're not doing anything else.
That's what they're supposed to be. Yeah, fair enough. Well, I would have just got them all to sit in a room and just look at each other for a long time. Like, just as soon as you realise that it can take other forms and it can take people's forms, just gather everyone and just sit. And don't move, and just stay there and work it out. Like because they obviously figured out the blood thing. They could have done that from the beginning. Like that, there was nothing to stop the blood thing. Obviously, where the blood got all leaked, but when they did the actual blood test with the thumb and the scalpel, which would have bled for hours, by the way. Like they could have done that at any point. Like there was no way of stopping that. So if they came to that idea eventually, there's nothing to say that they wouldn't come to that idea eventually. So. I would have just stayed there and just tried to work out a plan and keep everyone together. It's so annoying in horror movies because I think that's the one issue with horror movies is when you make your characters stupid. And I don't think they weren't necessarily stupid, but I just don't think you would necessarily break up and go into separate groups and people disappear and stuff like that. Just try and get everyone to stay together. That's all I would have done.
I have one thing that I forgot to mention, and forgot to write down even. At one point, McCready says, and regardless, we'll come back inside and we'll meet in 20 minutes. If you're in the snow, if you're outside, where's your watch? It's on your wrist, isn't it? Yeah. So you have to pull up all your fucking sleeves to try and get to your watch. Absolute hassle. How are you going to know when it's 20 minutes time?
I think when there's like an alien invasion shit going on, you put aside hassles. You're not really too fussed about things like that. I think.
He's fussed about it being 20 minutes.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the kind of level of that's almost there. You're almost there, McCready. Like telling everyone, right, you come back 20 minutes regardless. We're coming. Like that's the level of like you need to keep people together.
Yeah.
It's almost there. He's almost got it, but it just shouldn't. They shouldn't have gone in the first place.
Yeah.
Should have just stayed there. In terms of a character to bring in to shake up the film.
Go on.
Will Smith character in Men in Black. That would have been interesting.
Oh, very
if he just comes in on a little snowmobile, like just turns up, he's got the neuralizer, just comes in, shocks everyone, tells them to stay in separate rooms, and just works it out. Just figures,
oh my god,
that would be pretty cool.
You've got that wrapped up. I don't even have to say anything.
Right. That just came to me. Just bring Will Smith in and blow this case wide open.
Yeah,
that's
perfect.
Yeah. So, what do you reckon? You going to stay indoors for this one?
Hell no.
Put aside your dislike for horror movies. Because it's going to come to like ones where we're going to have to watch like rom-coms, which I hate.
I'm
you have to judge them.
Just on.
We've made a solemn vow to our listeners that we will be impartial. Was it a good movie? Would you stay indoors?
I don't remember ever making that.
No, we didn't make that, so but that's fair enough. You can say that.
I'll cop that. That's okay. Yeah, I guess I would.
Were you entertained?
in the same way that getting punched in the face is spending time, I was entertained.
Okay.
So, yes.
So, okay, from the perspective of someone who doesn't like horror movies...
Well, no, because I'm just not going to watch horror movies. But on the perspective of someone who is trying to understand what good films are, it was a good film.
Yeah. But I mean, so if someone who's listening to this now isn't necessarily a fan of horror movies, but his friends are all like, oh, come on, we're going to go and watch The Thing. Should he go and watch it? Is it going to be a waste of his time?
No. And you can respect it from many other different places as well. Mm-hmm. The characters are all like fairly decent, and your main guy as well. He was legit as far as characters go. I thought he was cool. So I think so long as your main person is cool, you're fine, except from his little mad moment in the middle. Yeah. Like it's all good. And okay, fine. Just my arm, stay indoors.
I feel like I don't want to twist your arm. I'm sorry. I
no,
shouldn't have said that.
No, I get it. We made the solemn vow now to be impartial, and I will be. So stay indoors because it was a good film.
Okay. Well, you wouldn't have to twist my arm to maybe stay indoors to watch it. I would say stay indoors. As I said, it's like a slow build. You stay on the edge of your seat throughout most of it. There's not really too many of those elements of characters being stupid. It's mostly like legit characters that you can sense the fear that they're in, and it seems realistic. They don't do stupid stuff. Yeah, and not too many jump scares. It was just a good, in my opinion, as a horror film, I thought that was great. So yeah, I'd stay indoors.
Banging.
So that's it. That's the podcast, the end of the podcast, shall I say. You can find us at Instagram, at Twitter, at Facebook, all at And if you didn't know, that is ancient language for at 250 reasons.
The ancient language is actually windings. That's actually the vocalization of windings. Yeah, so that's windings for 250 reasons.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that, but thanks for... I didn't realise I could speak.
That's all right. A little bit of linguistics at the end of a podcast is always useful.
I didn't know you took linguistics.
I just took windings.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you want to subscribe to us, that's... No. There you go. Just find that button on your feed, and then you'll hear us all the time. Well, every week.
But remember, if you've got a normal English keyboard, then just try at 250 reasons.
Even if you've got other country keyboards, because in France they got French keyboards.
Yeah, we are inclusive. We don't mind.
Yeah, all country keyboards are welcome here.
Keyboards, especially wingdings.
Windings.